Hey, this is Katie with Following the Funks, and today I am taking you around Bodrum, Turkey. You can do it. If you're just now turning in, we are an American expat family. My husband, our daughter, and I live in Izmir, Turkey, and we've been there for about 6 years. But this summer we are spending the month of August in the Bodrum Peninsula. So we're a little bit north of Bodrum City proper, but today we are visiting it, and I'm going to take you along with me. One of the first areas you're going to want to visit in Bodrum, Turkey is the Bodrum Amphitheater. This amphitheater is actually used for concerts and productions today, just like the Efes Theater in Selçuk, just outside of Izmir, Turkey. And what's even more cool about it, or just cooler, is just the view. The view is amazing. You can see the Bodrum Castle right over there. This amphitheater dates back to maybe 6th century BC. It has the Greek influence of the structure built. There is a stage area, and then there's the first seating area, and then there's actually this third seating area. Like all amphitheaters, this one is made for its sound, and so you can actually stand down there on the stage area and it can be heard all the way around the surrounding seating. This amphitheater too seats about 4,000 people, but it is said that at one point in time it sat about 10,000. I'm sure that people were pretty squished if that was the case. Now, we are visiting this in August, so it is already warm and it is bright and sunny. So make sure you wear sunscreen or a hat and bring your sunnies to enjoy this site. There's not much to it. It's free to get in, and so you can come check it out for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then you can head on your way. This would have been the former day probably stage area right here that they're using for the concert, and then as well you have the different back areas too that may have fallen underneath the stages. So this would have been like where the actors could have gone under and walked while the production was happening, or even changing rooms and that kind of thing back here. And of course it's being used as changing rooms and storage and all of those fun things still today. Most people like to start at the castle and then kind of work their way up, but since we are staying outside of Bodrum about 30 minutes, we are coming down from the north into Bodrum, and so we're passing by the amphitheater, and then from the amphitheater we're going to our next location, the mausoleum. 25 to the right, or music cart. Here we go. Please stop. Here we go. We made it. They're really pretty, aren't they? What color are they? Purple, purple. We are now visiting the mausoleum of Halicarnassus, which that name is the name of the city that it used to be. Of course, this is present-day Bodrum, but this site is actually known as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient worlds, or the 7 ancient wonders of the world. So in line with the Egyptian pyramid, the statues and the Rhodes Island, the gardens of Babylon, I'll list them right here. But there is actually not much left here to be seen except for quite a bit of rocks. This mausoleum was a height of 140 feet. It was considered to be an aesthetic triumph of its time, and it was constructed by Artaxerxes III, which I just read about him a little bit, and apparently he came into power after his father died, but then after like 3 of his brothers were died, committed suicide, murdered, and then after he came into rule, he decided to kill all the rest of the royal family so nobody could take over. So anyways, I learned a lot about some of the history during that. Constructed in the 3rd century BC, and it actually was standing until about the 12th century, 14th century, when a few earthquakes messed with the foundation, and then it was actually completely demolished or taken apart in 1494. Parts of it that was removed to build other buildings, of course, during that time, because that's a very common thing, to remove what's needed to build new things for new empires and countries that come into place. You can find statues and things from this site in the British Museum hoping to be returned to Turkey, but most likely will never be. But this is our site that we are finishing up here, and we are now moving on into Bodrum to go either have lunch or off to the castle. So we actually went from the mausoleum, parked our car towards town, and then decided to have some lunch. So we went to Zaka restaurant, which is in kind of the shopping area close to the Bodrum Castle. And it was delicious, great home-cooked Turkish food. But now we are at the Bodrum Castle. Oh, hello Nia, traveling with our friends. Nia and Lauren, and yeah, they're coming and spending the week with us. It's been really, really fun. So I actually will have another video just on Bodrum Castle, but I'll show you a few clips here. It was built in the time of the Crusaders, but if you watch my other videos, I'll tell you a lot more about it. Make sure to check out that one as well. Oh, did you see the view over here, Sophia? Yeah. So we came 2 weeks ago and we saw this exhibit. It was included in our Musée Pass, or our entry. It's 50 lira to come in here and see this now. I just think that that's crazy. Crazy. Why? It's 150 TL to get in if you do not have a Musée card. And then you have you pay this on top of it. Wow. Let me say one more thing about this castle. It is extensive, and you do want to go all the way up to the tower because all of these museums are kind of woven out throughout this whole castle. It's not just a castle ruin or a castle, it is actually built-in museum as well that talks about all the underground excavation that has happened all around this Bodrum Peninsula, which is just so interesting and cool. But they did such a wonderful job of explaining it. It's worth coming to check out. Where's Sophia go? There she is. This is the top, the very top of the Bodrum Castle. And I'm glowing. So let's chat about Bodrum for just a quick minute. Bodrum is actually a city, but it's also a Bodrum region. It is located in the Ege part of Turkey, which is just south of Izmir, and it's an actual peninsula. So, sorry, quick intermission. So, as I was saying, the peninsula of Bodrum is somewhere around 649 square kilometers. Probably about 24 islands that are off the coast and like little inlets and beaches and coves, and that's what makes Bodrum so popular, is that every few miles you can stop and find a beach somewhere. Just gorgeous coastline. Being on the peninsula, we stayed on the north side of Bodrum, and then we have actually, it takes us about 30 minutes to get to the south side of Bodrum Peninsula, which is where Bodrum City is. It's worth the drive to come down and actually see Bodrum City, but we're glad that we actually stayed in a more secluded, more villagey area that was a little bit out of town, because Bodrum is such a popular city in the summer, and it is popular with the Turks as well as the foreigners, and so it's just a little bit more crowded than we want. And so being outside of the city allows us to come in and enjoy it, but also be outside and enjoy kind of the quiet summer villa life that we wanted to. So I think this castle tour is actually going to wrap up our day in Bodrum. I think we're going to grab some ice cream and walk around the shopping area just a little bit, and then head on back to our little village life. Yeah, is that delicious? You look so hot. What kind did you get, Sophia?
Chocolate sprinkles.
Oreo and strawberry with sprinkles.
This.
Yummy. Obviously we've gotten ice cream that's melting, some lemonade, But just a quick tip, if you're traveling through Turkey, there are belediyesi cafes, and that means they're city cafes. This one right behind me is a belediye cafe, which means that it's city owned. It's a city run restaurant, and they always have some type of easy Turkish food and their standard pricing. This one just happens to be on the water right by the Bodrum beach. They're standard pricing so that they're not overpriced and anybody can come and enjoy the seaside. That's just a tip that I have for you if you are traveling to any city in Turkey. That wraps up our day in Bodrum. I hope you have enjoyed exploring the city with us. I'd love to know if you have been here before, and if you have, what have you explored? What did we miss? Of course, we only had a day that we came in, but I'd love to know if we come again, what you would suggest. Do you want to come and visit now? Is it on your bucket list? Always love hearing from you guys, and as always, I hope you have a great week. Until next time, bye.